Hello and welcome to our presentation of how guest delight affected hotel pricing before and during COVID-19 pandemic. Do you remember ever coming to a hotel and somehow, although everything was pretty good from food to facilities and the check-in procedure, etc., it was all, not bad, just pretty good. The consequence of this experience was that you were satisfied but not delighted, which can be problematic because customers of today have been spoiled due to the evolution of the economy and evolution of the customer. And the consequence is that we all want to be delighted, particularly when we come to upscale hotels. Meanwhile, companies in their effort to please their customers can be drowning in measurement, short-term financial performance, focus on productivity while forgetting the basic question of how do customers see us. And this is extremely important because customers' perception determines our business reality. This opens quite a gap between the company management and reality, and an important element of this rift is the gap between customer expectations and customer perception, the so-called expectation perception gap, which is often unrecognized by hotel companies. In reality, hotels' ability to delight happens or does not happen due to empowerment of frontline personnel and their soft skills. In other words, it happens because of personalization, the ability of the frontline personnel to treat every customer as unique, and then they're going to be delighted. So personalization equals delight. And in upscale hospitality, service without context, personalization, or delight is nothing in terms of extractable or chargeable value. So, customer delight was studied quite extensively, and we found this typology in the research of Torres and Klein. Problem solution, professional, comparative, charismatic, fulfillment, recommendation, surprise, delight, which are all customer delight attributes. So, in a nutshell, our research aims were to verify to what extent guest delight is present in Dubrovnik upmarket hotels and to check whether there is a discernible relation of guest delight with hotel rates before and during COVID-19 pandemic. And to our knowledge, nobody yet tried to make a connection between customer delight and hotel rates, meaning the extractable value of customer delight. In terms of the method, we use descriptive statistics and Lin log analysis and Spearman correlation. So we took 15 random TripAdvisor reviews from 15 upmarket hotels in Dubrovnik. So that would be 225 reviews altogether. When we found a negative assessment of the attribute, we entered a 0 in our assessment sheet. 1 was entered in case of a neutral assessment or attribute not mentioned, and 2 was entered when we found something positive. And in a nutshell, this is what we found. Professional and charismatic. Dubrovnik Hotel score 1.46, which is close to midpoint, and we could say that the guests are moderately delighted with these attributes. What is not clear is whether this professional and empathic behavior of the staff is owed to Dubrovnik's long-standing tradition in tourism, which gathers special kind of service mentality, or this is related to company policies and training. So this is debatable and should be studied more. In terms of recommendation and fulfillment, hotels scored lower, which basically means that hotels are good at closing the expectation perception gap, but guest expectations are not exceeded very frequently. The real problems are here. in the problem solution and surprise attributes, because for this, hotels really need to empower their staff to find solutions and to surprise customers with something meaningful out of the ordinary. And this is not really going on, so it's not surprising that comparative delight, meaning whether guests find differentiation between hotels, is also lacking, which means that Dubrovnik upmarket hotels lack character, and there isn't much personalization going on, so this is not surprising. The overall guest delight is at 1.21, which leans more toward neutral than to absolutely delighted, which leads us to conclude that Dubrovnik hotels provide solid services but should work on a stronger wow effect, because without it, these upscale hotels can hardly qualify as luxury. So guests are satisfied but not delighted. Whether this is good enough, well, you decide. So it's not surprising then that delight factors do not affect hotel rates, because there isn't much going on with delight. So there are other factors affecting rates, which is also corroborated by TripAdvisor, which shows also that TripAdvisor ranking is actually connected to price, and in both cases these results are before and during COVID-19. So guest delight in both cases does not affect prices. TripAdvisor ranking does affect prices, which means that there are other factors affecting the price. This is further corroborated by our finding of the Spearman correlation between our delight ranking of hotels and the TripAdvisor ranking of hotels, which established that there is almost no correlation between the two. So our conclusions are the following. COVID-19 should be seen as a crisis of opportunity for developing other new competitive advantages, because hotels focusing on high quality and loyal customer base are in a stronger position to secure long-term value both for their customers and themselves. In addition, and this is extremely important in the COVID-19 situation, hotels with a higher rating are able to charge more. We actually speculate that the lacking customer delight probably affects hotel rates and repeated business in Dubrovnik negatively even during the strong demand periods, because delighted guests show greater commitment, loyalty, and repeated business. Therefore, Dubrovnik upmarket hotels should focus on experience personalization to strengthen guest delight. In such a way, they would improve their own and the destination's brand, which should in turn both have a long-term positive effect on the Dubrovnik revenue per available room. So thank you for your attention in this presentation, and I'm now ready to take your questions or listen to your comments.